the Vice Chairman and President of Kickstart Ventures, Inc. She is a Senior Vice President at Globe Telecom, focusing on new business, and is a member of the Board of Directors of AdSpark, Globe's digital advertising subsidiary. Please welcome Ms. Minette Navarrete.
Hi, morning. A good start listening to Globe's digital transformation story. Interesting to see how coming from an obsession with our customers and looking at how we can do much more to enhance their lives, we then get to financial inclusion. How do we bring customers into the financial ecosystem and give them more services than the current mostly cash-based society that they've got. So today what I'd like to do, and thank you to everybody for coming round, is to talk a little bit about Kickstart Ventures and the newest initiative that we've got, and you'll see, the Active Fund. But first we'll start by talking a little bit about Kickstart Ventures, because it's not a consumer brand, and therefore it's not a home brand. So how many people in the audience are familiar with venture capital? I see David raising his hand, but okay, so maybe a little introduction. Kickstart Ventures is a corporate venture capital firm. What we do is we make venture investments in startups. So if you've ever watched Dragon's Den, Shark Tank, the people on the panel represent the investors. And it's never like that, but that's kind of the world we operate in. So Kickstart, when we talk about who we are, we really talk about why we are, why we're here, who we're here for. And what we are here for is to enable startup success by breaking down the barriers and building bridges across the telco, the business, and the technology ecosystems. So our why, our purpose, is to try and make things easier for startup founders. When Isa talked about obsessing about the customer, we obsess about founders. So we do that through 4 activities, mainly smart capital, but also ecosystem development, portfolio development, market access. So we make introductions to founders across our business relationships. The most obvious activity that we have is venture capital investing, which is that first box over there. So you'll see we have 3 funds. Our first 2 funds are Globe funds from 2012 and 2015. And those are about $60 million in investments in early stage, early growth startups. This year, we're doing something really exciting. We are introducing a 3rd fund coming from the Ayala Corporation, again, in early stage. So maybe kind of more obvious thing, not what we do, but what we've done. And what we have done with the first 2 funds is take Globe's $60 million and invest it in 42 companies across the world. So you'll see that on slide, 42 companies, 88 founders, 7 countries. Many of these are people who came to us with only a PowerPoint deck. And many of them have gone from that PowerPoint deck in our little office in Makati to 5 or 7 or 10 or 20 overseas markets, working with such blue chip names as Unilever, as HSBC, as BNI in Indonesia. So, all good, right? Why a 3rd fund? Globe Telecom is part of the Ayala Corporation. It's a 185-year-old business house, the oldest in the Philippines. We represent, depending on what day it is, about 12 to 15% of the Philippine Stock Exchange, about 2 to 3% of the national GDP. So while, like all the rest of the business, we are looking to deliver great results every year, we want to go beyond that. We want to build for the next 185 years. And to do that, we are building for that future. We're creating for that future. And for the Kickstart case, we are investing for that future. So the Ayala Corporation Technology Innovation Venture Fund is nearly $200 million in capital commitments to invest in startups in the Philippines and overseas. Together with the first two funds of Globe, that's more than $250 million in capital commitments, probably the biggest that the Philippines has so far. And we are seeing a lot more corporates in particular, but also pure financial investors coming in to try and work with startups. Now, most funds will define themselves and their investment focus based on the technology, whether it's a fintech fund or a health tech fund or an impact fund. Our thesis is a little bit different. What we want to do is connect our capital to the future. So we define our investment themes based on the futures that we want to create, the futures that we believe in. There are 4 themes that energize us. And the first 2 are on the screen, you'll see. We believe that the future of transactions, whether this is transactions that exchange information or money or goods or services, the future of transactions should be intelligent and seamless. There should be very little friction that blocks you from the purchases that you want to make, the money that you want to spend or invest or save, the transport that you want to hire. We believe that the future of work should be something that enhances the value of the capital that's put in the business, that enhances productivity, quality, efficiency, but also improves the engagement of the human worker. So we believe that the future of work is important. We believe in investing in the technology behind it, but we're not after technology that destroys industries or destroys jobs for people. We want to create the future of work that enhances the value of human capital in the same way that we want to invest in the future of transactions that will enhance human experience. Oops, too quick. Last 2 themes, smart living and a world of plenty. We believe that the value of property ought to go beyond being a piece of land or the brick and mortar that's built upon it. We want to invest in the technologies that make where we live and how we live safer, smarter. We want to invest in a world of plenty. Think about it. It's December 2019. It's nearly 2020. And yet, all around the world, you still see a lot of scarcity, whether it is insufficient access to water, to power, to food, to health. There's still a lot of scarcity for billions of people in this world. Our thesis is that scarcity is not a supply problem. Scarcity is also a distribution problem. And technology is great at solving distribution problems. So we believe in a future where we live, how we live, and the quality of life of everyone is enhanced by technology. So these are our 4 themes. These are the 4 things that we want to invest in. A frictionless future, automation to augmentation, smart living, and a world of plenty. I guess, particularly for ourselves in the emerging market, when you look at the way we live, when you look at the way our countrymen live, we are far from this future. There's still a lot of work to be done. But from our perspective, that's the exciting thing. There's a lot of work to be done, and we believe that with investing, we can connect where we are today, where our countrymen are, where people in emerging markets are today, to that future that we believe in. So we look forward to working with many of you and seeing how we can build a better, more productive, more sustainable future together. Thank you.